Okay, now talking about the exam technique assignment. What I have knocked up here is a template for the academic report I'm asking you to write for this one. What I have is the headings I would suggest you use, and a description in italics of the content that goes in each part. I'm aware that a lot of you are taking the psychology exam. For some of you, this will be the only exam that you take. So you need to complete this around the study that you are doing. Don't worry, that needn't be onerous, because really all you need to do is to decide what revision technique you are currently using and use it consistently, even if that is a matter of you describing what you're doing and calling it a technique. Okay, so clearly headed and labelled at the top, and the piece is entitled How Best to Succeed in the Examination. So think of each section as an answer to the question of how best to succeed, how best you need to be to succeed. So the rationale, which is the reason for writing the report, which is typical, the start of an academic report. As it says, explain what you're doing and why. Highlight the key stages that you're going to go through: exam questions, command question, exam question examples, what you're going to do in each of those headings, and how each of those should help you succeed in exams. So there's a link up going through. So under exam questions, you're going to look at command words. These, if you're going to understand what the question is asking you to do, you need to be able to translate these. These words are analyze, assess, consider, outline, explain, define, evaluate, and so on, state. So what you need to do is to say what each of these are, and why it is important that you understand what these words mean, and how that they would help you construct a response that meets the demands of the question. Makes sense, right? So the definition of a number of command words. Then go on to using question examples. So use 2, 3 of the questions that you're likely to meet in your exams. You've got past papers there. Put them in, underline the keywords, particularly the command words, break down what each of the words mean, and come to a judgment, something you can write out as an analysis, which is the demands of the question. Then create a plan to answer logically the question, meeting its requirements as defined in the first previous thing, and how you plan to be unambiguous in your answer. Clear planning should help that. Okay, so you've got the idea of looking at questions and the need to do that. Describe 5 revision techniques. Doesn't have to be in detail, but describe 5. Then select one. The one that you're using to do your revision currently, I would suggest would be the right one to pick. If you haven't started your revision, pick one from those 5, and use this technique for all of your revision. Bang, there you go. Sometime after the 10th of December, you'll get your grade and paper back. And when you have it returned, make sure you can take a copy of it. Lola will need a copy of the exam for her records. We need one for study skills. So please ask if you can take a copy. Analyze what it has, what the feedback, first of all, look at the feedback that Lola gives you, and then look at how the exam went. Which areas worked for you and which did not? Highlight. Yeah. Whether the requirements of the questions were successfully met. Did your planning work? Did you manage to decipher what the requirements of each question were? Whether the right amount of time was allocated to each question. If not, is there a time management issue that you need to reflect upon? Find examples where planning worked, that is, where you were able to articulate meaning clearly, and where you've developed questions as focused to the response to the answer. So where you have met clearly in a developed way and answered the question and provide highlights. Once you've gone through this process of working through your paper, then write up a section of your report considering the points above. Done. Lastly, detailed was the brief, but it says on the brief, write up a detailed 5-point action plan for the next time you need to revise something.